Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Conscious Educator Playground podcast. I have Ms. Sheba Rashada here with me today, as always, and we are going to dive into some fun topics today. We were just having a little pre-show fun, trying to figure out where the angel was coming from that is on Sheba's computer. So it's it's a little glare that's actually we decided it's a little angel on her shoulder.
Yes, hopefully
so it's not your imagination.
Money. Hopefully it's leaving money. That's it. Tips.
Leaving money. It's a little angel leaving us podcast tips. That's what's happening today. This is where we're at. This is what's happening. Earlier, I sent a message out to my team saying, hey, I'm on Zoom whenever anyone's ready for our little Friday check-in. It's not Friday, it's Tuesday. And I didn't realize that until Sheba hops on and goes, happy Tuesday. I'm like, oh yeah. It's Friday every day in my world, apparently. In
the other days don't matter. They don't matter.
None of the other days matter. Only Fridays all the time. You know, we do talk about designing our own reality. And if we get to, why not? Why not? It's fun. So today's an adventurous day. I'm feeling a little punchy. I had a 3.5-hour workshop with an amazing team today, an elementary school I've been working with for several years, and they're doing such incredible work. And they, as most humans that I work with and surround myself with, we oftentimes break out the not enough bat and, you know, really think that we're not doing enough. We could be doing more. We could be growing more, and really just making sure we're shining a light on everyone, not only on this podcast, but in those that I get to work with personally on a daily basis. Is we are all enough exactly where we are, and we are in the right place, doing the right things, and everything is flowing. And so being able to trust that and kind of resonate with that. And then I spent several hours at a partner conference with my global partner, Genius U, talking about the power of AI. And so that's really what we're going to discuss today, is what is that impact on education? And so wanting to kind of lead from that place of we are all enough exactly where we are. And we're all, as educators and edupreneurs, we have a core value of growth and learning. So we're always going to be seeking what's next. We're always going to be curious. We just are. It's who we are as people. And it's kind of one of our superpowers. And I truly think that it's that superpower that allows us to play in the sandbox with AI versus feeling like it's a big, scary, creepy monster, which there's times when I think it's a scary, creepy monster. So we're gonna dive into this conversation. And Sheba, I'd love your take on it. And we're going to kind of just let this conversation flow. And as you're listening to this, chime in on our social media, chime in the chat, wherever you're listening, and let us know your thoughts, because this is a super hot topic right now with ChatGPT coming out. And there's a lot unknown, there's a lot known, there's a lot of power behind it. And at the end of the day, our humanness is our superpower. So let's connect and chat about it. So Sheba, first glance, do you remember the first time you heard about AI or let's go just AI in general before ChatGPT, but first time you're hearing about AI, what are you thinking and where are you? Kind of paint a picture for where you were.
And I think I think that's kind of been a concept. It's probably been like the last 15 or 20 years. I mean, down to that Will Smith movie, like, I, Robot, where we're creating these robots that can, in a sense, think not just for us, but for themselves as well. So, I think that, so when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, they're replacing humans. Obviously, you need humans to build these things, but it's kind of like, it's just that other. The robots, they're doing things on their own.
The robots are here.
Well, it's like that old 80s movie. It's like number 5, I'm alive. The little
What movie was that?
I can't remember the name of it, but that was kind of AI, right? Where it's this robot that could think and it could feel and all of these other things. So, I think now, though, especially with ChatGPT, Now that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Because students are being able, well, they're using it. So instead of working through the work and learning the skills that we want them to know, it's just so easy for them to, you know, to produce answers to prompts. And not all of it is bad, but especially from an English teacher's perspective, you know, if my students put a prompt into ChatGPT or, you know, whatever they're using, it will produce an answer. And oftentimes I know if it's my student or not. At this point, I know what their voice sounds like. Sometimes the program doesn't get everything right, because I'm going to assume it's scouring information from the web, but it hasn't read the book. It hasn't had the same discussions that we've had in class. So yeah, so I think it can be very frustrating when we're trying to teach students certain skills. But I think it can be a very powerful tool for businesses, especially small business owners that maybe, you know, can't afford to hire a virtual assistant, or they can't afford to get a full copywriter or things like that. So, I mean, I don't think it's terrible. As an English teacher, I approach it with caution in the classroom now.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely skills that, you know, there's several articles about the power of handwriting and how, you know, handwriting creates certain neural pathways in your brain that really may not get developed as we move away from teaching handwriting. And what does cursive look like? My nieces and nephews that are still in school, they're not learning cursive. And again, I sound like an old lady even saying that. What is cursive? What is that? And yet I remember I think it was third grade when, you know, they started teaching cursive, and it was like you had to follow the letters and learn. And my handwriting doesn't look anything like that at this point in time. I don't think it ever did. I think I really had to follow the little dotted lines to make my letters do that. And it was really slow. But to even have my own version of handwriting today, and it's something that I value and is super easy for me. Whereas I watch my son and I'm like, hey, you know, write it down. And he breaks out his phone and uses his thumbs to type it in. And I'm like, well, that's one way to do it. It definitely keeps it all in one place versus me with my sticky notes all over the place. So when I think back to the first time that I really, I mean, we can go back really far, right? Jetsons, and how that, I mean, it was like, oh, that'll never happen. Like, that's so far-fetched. And then you go into even Iron Man, right? And Jarvis, and watching that. And I'm like, that is so cool. And the screens as he's swiping and, you know, talking to Jarvis. And then, you know, Siri and Alexa. And we're slowly being immersed into this world of leveraging the power of technology. And there's a lot of things that technology can do that there's an argument of it will take away jobs, right? And in addition, it will create new jobs. So it's just a matter of this whole wave of industry really flipping. And are we going to ride the wave, or are we going to get crashed by it? And it's an interesting conversation you bring up. What does that mean for students currently? How can you actually help them learn and grow and be able to assess what they've learned and what they haven't, and how are they progressing, and be able to guide and teach and create those personalized learning pathways? As a teacher in the classroom, you're really trying to create that individualized instruction. And if you don't know what they're actually learning or not, beyond how to use the app or the website or the, you know, depending on how they're doing it, then you're missing some of that relationship connection with the student, and being able to say, hey, this is a cool tool. And what I want you to do is we're all going to do it together. And there's ways to like you're doing, to incorporate and to have the conversations and to be able to say, hey, you know, we're reading this book, so we're going to have discussions in this class that AI is not going to know about. We hope, right? And, that allows me to know what you're learning, so that I can guide and mentor you versus, you know, looking at something that AI just spit out and you're just checking the box just to get it done.
Right.
That loses the purpose of learning.
Well, and I think that there's also, I mean, it's the same thing with math or any subject that a student dislikes. What do we need this for? I don't need math. There's such thing as calculators. And I say, but the reason why we still have engineers after hundreds of, you know, and thousands of years, the reason why we still have architects is because there's certain skills that AI is not going to give you, like working through a problem, gaining these incredible critical thinking skills, being able to meet challenges and, you know, just in a way that it's not going to do for, if you're just, you know, typing in something and seeing what it pops out without having gone through the processes of it. So, I mean, especially for English, I mean, I'm sure all the teachers say this to their kids, but like I say in English, I'm like, this is the most important class that you'll have, because no matter what you're majoring in, if you do go to college, or, you know, if you're, whatever you choose to do after high school, career, even in relationships, you're going to have to know how to communicate. And the standards that I teach help the students with 4 strands of language and communication: speaking and listening, reading and writing, just being able to articulate themselves well. And I think, and I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast already, but I know that that is a complaint of many professors in the institutions of higher learning here in this country, is that the students aren't able to critically think and examine things the way they were able to do 30, 40, or 50 years ago. Because the technology has made so many things easy. And I guess that's the question that, you know, the problem that you kind of posed, at least in my mind, Sandy. Are we going to just say, okay, well, let's find a different way of doing it? Or are we going to say, well, there's certain things that we can't give up yet. We have to figure, maybe we have to figure a way to incorporate both, because it is a changing world. And those critical thinking skills and everything else, I believe those are skills that we're still going to need 100, 200, 300 years from now as well.
Yeah, AI is not going to take away our humanness and our conscious evolution, and our consciousness evolution is leading with curiosity and those critical problem solving skills and critical thinking skills. It allows us to ponder, to do just what I'm doing now, to really think about all the different options. I mean, it's less curated from, you know, and even as I say that out loud, like AI is curating from all of the wisdom that's on the internet, but the wisdom that's on the internet was created from humans putting it there. And, you know, but then over time, I mean, it's growing. I mean, there's tons of articles out there that speak to the potential evil side of AI. And, you know, we can choose to go down that rabbit hole, and it's definitely valid. And we can choose to go down the rabbit hole of it being like, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows. And I think the magic is somewhere in the middle, where it's used responsibly. It's used in a way that is a tool to really help enhance who we are and how we're evolving, right? And being able to be, as my mentor, Roger Hamilton, was sharing earlier today, it's about learning to be a better jockey versus being the horse, right? And knowing how to leverage it and critically think about how we're giving the prompts in order to instruct ChatGPT or other AI solutions to be able to work with us and in partnership, and really what that means for education and how we're learning and growing. I think it's teaching the children that responsibility, just as we teach them, you know, way back when, you know, when it was teaching about drugs, right? teaching about things that you put in your body, nutrition. It's about teaching the responsibility of it. And, you know, teaching about alcohol and teaching about car accidents and teaching about seatbelts and teaching about, you know, texting, like all the things that have come. And then all of a sudden there's, you know, accidents that happen, and then laws are formed, and we as a collective humanity go, okay, this is what we all agree is best for our growth and our health, and for us to stay alive and thrive together, is that seatbelts are a good thing, and, you know, airbags are a good thing. And, you know, then there's always arguments against that as well, but the vast majority of us can get to that consensus reality. And I think with this emerging technology, we're going to be on the fence for a while with a lot of really healthy and probably sometimes unhealthy dialogue about the power of it and what it means for education.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's just technology as well. I always think that there's a lot of fear around the unknown. So it's like, well, this thing's new and it could, you know, it could lead us here and it could lead us there. And I understand that. But again, it's a changing world, and we're not teaching the same students. We're not dealing with the same humans that were on the planet 80 years ago. It's just, it's not that way. But I do understand, with that being said, because I was raised and am still nurtured and mentored by beautiful older people who make me remember that there is still beauty in being an originalist. So we can have all the machines to, I don't know, make cabinets, and you can get them, they're nice, you can get them at a great price, but there might be, you know, a little older couple that is still making the cabinets by hand. And you're going to pay $5,000 more, and those cabinets are going to last for 3 or 4 generations. And there's something beautiful in that handmade craftsmanship that I just think is never going to go away. And I think with that in mind, I don't have a problem integrating the use of these new tools with my students, and especially, as you said, Sandy, with responsibility and understanding its limitations, you know, and what they should, and that's a terrible statement, but, you know, what they should and should not do with it in order to be responsible, not just students, but just citizens.
Right. Yeah. How can we actually continue to feed the technology for good, right? For the health of the planet, you know, connected to the global sustainability goals, and, you know, all of us really wanting the health of our planet and our humanness to continue. We get to be on the same page of what that looks like in solving the world's challenges. And so I wanted to, like, do you want to play? I was thinking I'm just going to share my screen. So those that are listening, you're just going to have to hear what we're doing, what we're talking about, and then you can watch the YouTube version of this at some point. But I'd like to play, like, I haven't done anything with it. Like I think maybe I opened it at once and I was like, I don't understand. I don't know what this is. And I felt like I was 900 years old using technology. So we're going to actually dive in and let's just go into, and I use Google Chrome. So we're gonna type in ChatGPT, and we're gonna see what comes up, and it's openai.com is a blog. So we'll just click on the first thing that comes up, introducing ChatGPT. So we can try it or read about it. So let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. It says, stand by, we're checking your browser, verifying you are a human. I am a human. I checked a little box. Welcome. Log in with your OpenAI account to continue. I don't know what that means, but sure. Probably connected to my Google account, and I can continue with Google. And we'll do all the things here. And all right, tell us about you. It already has my name in there. That's creepy cool. It's gonna ask me for my phone number. And we're going to send a code. Now I should get a code to my cell phone. All right. This is a free research preview. Our goal is to get external feedback in order to improve our systems and make them safer. While we have safeguards in place, the system may occasionally generate incorrect or misleading information and produce offensive or biased content. It is not intended to give advice. Good disclaimers. Good disclaimers. So it says how we collect data. Conversations may be reviewed by our AI trainers to improve our systems. Please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations. Good to know. We'd love your feedback. The system is optimized for dialogue. Let us know if a particular response was good or unhelpful, and share your feedback on our Discord server. All right, so examples of what we can do. So what I was thinking we would do is to ask it to create a blog article. Yes, those words go together, right?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. On the impact of ChatGPT in English classes. How should we say it, Sheba? Let's get good at our prompt, right?
So I believe we have to ask it a natural language question.
Yep. So write a blog post on the impact of ChatGPT in English classes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Should we say in high school English classes?
Yes.
Make it super specific, right?
Because I was going to say, ooh, I wonder how the college professors are dealing with this.
Oh, do we want college English classes?
Ooh, or why don't we just put in college? Yeah, I'm sure that's really interesting.
Okay.
There we go.
In college classes. All right, let's see what happens. And it's already typing. The advent of artificial intelligence has revolutionized the way we live our lives, from the way we communicate to the way we work. One of the most significant impacts of AI has been in education, where it has transformed the way students learn and teachers teach. One such AI technology that has had a significant impact on college classes is ChatGPT, a large language model trained by OpenAI based on the GPT 3.5 architecture. In this blog post, we will explore the impact of ChatGPT in college classes. And it keeps going. And it's now created this whole article with 5 different points: enhancing the learning experience, improving teacher productivity, fostering collaborative learning, providing access to educational resources, and encouraging active learning. In conclusion, ChatGPT has had a significant impact on college classes by enhancing the learning experience, improving teacher productivity, fostering collaborative learning, providing access to educational resources, and encouraging active learning. As AI technology continues to evolve, it is likely that ChatGPT will become an even more integral part of college education, transforming the way we learn and teach.
I have a feeling this might be very biased, but
right?
ChatGPT already told us that.
Right? They told us that it would be biased. So what if we said, what's the negative impact, right?
I think that's probably
of ChatGPT in college classes. While ChatGPT has numerous positive impacts, like other technology, it has some potential negative impacts. Here are some possible negative impacts of ChatGPT in college classes: over-reliance on technology, inaccurate or biased information, reduction in personal interaction. It's creating this like loss of privacy, dependence on technology. So it's giving us 5 points in a whole blog post. To mitigate these negative impacts, it is important to use technology in a balanced and responsible manner, and to maintain a healthy balance between technology and personal interactions in the classroom.
Well, and I like that it said that undermine other essential skills such as critical thinking and problem solving. They may become less adept at thinking independently and using their own judgment. What I find very interesting is that it doesn't address copyright issues. It doesn't address
so what if we said
plagiarism? It's not
issues and plagiarism. I didn't spell it right. How do you spell plagiarism? Plagiarism.
That's
just
there we go. And then with the R. No, it's going to be RIGHT.
Okay.
For copyright.
Something went wrong. If this issue persists.
Yeah.
Okay. I think something went wrong because we're using the free version. I've heard that
the
system gets overloaded. That happens.
It's like It's too many people needing the answers and they need them quick.
Right. So if we go to, so now if we wanted to, we can just copy and paste all of this. I can just copy this out of here and have this as a blog post.
You're right.
Somewhere, right?
Right.
And so then if we, I don't know how, I guess we can upgrade to plus dark. I don't know what dark mode means.
Yeah, it'll make the screen dark if you put it in dark mode.
Oh, got it. Then there's Futurepedia.io is a directory of all of the different
tools. That's
tools.
Cool. Yeah.
So all of the things that you can discover and use in terms of marketing. Monica is an assistant to be your personal assistant, website builder, logo maker. What's this one? Help turn their knowledge base into a chatbot-like assistant, create AI data presentations, create videos from scripts or blogs. There's so much in here that is interior design, your home.
Oh, there's a copywriting tool, Jasper.
Yeah.
So if you need, to write content, that's really cool.
Yeah. So there's different charges for these, some of them are free, designing your home space is free. Yeah. I wonder if you could design your classroom.
Oh, that's fun.
So if we reimagine home and we want to design your classroom space, I guess it's just.
I think it says you can try with the sample image, Sandy. Okay. Yeah, right there.
Sample image.
Yeah. Surprise me. Ooh, I want to be surprised.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, it's still generating ideas.
Got it. We're already excited.
Like, because I was kind of, because the green was fun.
Right? Look, now we have purple options.
Oh.
Okay.
So it just gives you ideas, simple things, and it looks like they are simple things that you can do to just refresh your space.
Right. And if we click on, we've got different rooms we can choose. There is, let's do hobby and craft room or game room.
Yeah.
Hobby and craft room, contemporary, French country, glam.
Ooh.
Should we do glam?
Yeah, let's do glam. That's kind of fun.
And color preference, royal purple, gray, white, Greek lines. Sure, we can leave that.
Yeah, why not?
We'll generate a new idea.
Ooh.
This is fascinating.
This is pretty fascinating.
So I've seen a lot of the things on social media where people are doing their pictures, right? And having all of these, created. Oh, I guess we needed to, it didn't.
We probably needed to change the image.
Modify the mask.
But I see what it did. I see that, it just gave you different ideas for what you already have.
Right.
It doesn't change the color. It doesn't change any of that, but that's pretty fun.
Right. So you can go into these different spaces. Got it.
Or you drop in your own photo of your space and then they rearrange it.
Got it.
Pretty cool.
Okay. So then there's other ones here and they've got favorites. Oh, we have to sign in for that.
Google Colab Copilot.
Okay.
Like a little co-piloting situation.
Right. You can write code. These are things way beyond my pay grade. So we went to copywriting, right? So I'm in your English class and I want to go and have something written for me because I'm really stressed out and I've got, 3 different sports that I'm playing and I'm taking all the AP classes and I'm a stressed out senior. And if I don't graduate, like I'm going to freak out. And so how am I going to do this? And I see there's this free tool that I can use that can help you write content. So I'm going to click on free tool. that's called Copywriter. And I'm going to continue with Google. We're going to do all the clicking. Okay, this is a magical text editor to speed up and inspire your writing. Why is it magical? You can write articles faster and better with the help of our AI. Simply ask anything ending with a plus plus and it will magically write it for you. For example, try it and then, okay. So if we want to type something, what's a prompt that you gave your students recently? Let's see what happens.
That would have been a lot. Let's just, let's see. Because my prompts are like, 5 sentences long. So we won't do that. Why don't we, we'll do this. What is stronger what is stronger, love or hate? And then plus plus and see what it says. We're reading Medea right now.
Okay.
In my 12th grade class.
Okay, it is impossible to definitively answer this question, as love and hate are complex emotions with different levels of intensity. Both can be powerful emotions and can have a profound impact on a person's life. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to decide which emotion has a stronger influence on them.
See, and I will say this, that an answer like that is going to raise some red flags, because my students know that I need the answer. Okay. I don't care. And remember, we talked about that on another blog post. They're not allowed to say what I think. You're just going to tell me what it is. So, yeah, but I mean, that's smart though. I mean, it is true. Every individual has an answer, but if I'm asking for a student to tell me which one is which, I need you to dig in deep and let me know.
Right. So what if we go back to ChatGPT and see if it'll let us do things now?
I think you can do, new chat. Maybe that will allow us.
Okay. Is love or hate stronger? Do we want to give it more?
I think I put it, maybe you should put in what is stronger, love or hate. I think that will, that lead in might get a more interesting response. There we go.
Okay, it's thinking. I do not have personal beliefs or values, and I do not have the ability to experience emotions. However, I can provide some information about love and hate. They are fundamentally different in their effects on people and their relationships. Love is often associated with positive emotions, can bring people together. Hate, on the other hand, is often associated with negative emotions. It can create conflict, blah, blah, blah. So while both love and hate can be strong, the effects of these emotions on people and their relationships are quite different. Ultimately, it's up to individuals to choose which emotion they want to cultivate in their lives and their relationships with others.
So if I'm what the other one said too.
Right. So if I'm a student and I want to choose love or hate, I'm gonna copy this. Right. If I want to choose love as what I feel is stronger, I'm gonna copy that. And then I'll add some more into mine, right? So then maybe I add in what is the power of love. This is now a Whitney Houston song. So if I'm really like leaning into the prompt and using AI as my tool, and I'm not just copying and pasting what it said and not thinking about it, but I'm actually going, okay, well, that's not really what I meant, but I wanted a little bit more. And so now I can go into the power of love as a complex and multifaceted concept, so on and so forth. It brings people together, promotes positive emotions, can heal, can inspire creativity, can motivate action. So if you received this, I hope none of your students are now listening going, man,
I
can't.
No, they already know, because everything, especially in the 12th grade level and at the AP literature level, everything is evidence-based. So if I'm asking for a comparative analysis between two things, they would need to show me evidence. I mean, which this is great, but the evidence is not there. Right. So if they're saying that love is powerful because, and then there's going to be an example because people will sacrifice for love, such as they might give up their homes or their jobs or whatever for love. Whereas for hate can lead to indifference, which is something else. So, and we also have Chat GPT, what do you call detectors? So they're not perfect, but if I do think that doesn't sound like a student, or it's not a response, like it doesn't seem like it's on par with what they know to expect from me, then yeah. So yeah, but I think if people want to use it for a general answer, you know, love can heal, love can inspire creativity, love can motivate action. But I you know, the original question is, what is stronger? And I think, again, with the comparative analysis, and it doesn't even have a counter argument in it as well, which by now at this point in the year, which my students have been trained to do.
Right. And so that training, right, and in that critical thinking piece,
yes,
there's opportunities to use this to spark that within them, but ultimately the entire paper, the entire response is really up to the student to be able to demonstrate. And that's really what you're looking for, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what, and again, it's that responsibility thing, right? And again, if you're going to use that to cheat in a sense, yeah, you want to be smart about it.
Right.
Because by this point, especially at this point, you know how your students respond to answers, what they think, you understand their writing style. So things like that.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, it truly is, you know, what is our purpose? Why are we here as teachers and as students? And if we really look at the power of that interaction between teacher and student, between, you know, being a lifelong learner, being a forever learner, that it's those skills of curiosity and critical thinking and being able to marry thoughts together and really bring together, like you were talking about, your own intuitive wisdom to it, that you can probably find on the internet somewhere, you know, that which agrees with you. And when it comes from your heart and you layer in the personal experiences and things from your journey, that's really when you create that individuality and that uniqueness of who are you in the world, and how are you showing up. So Sheba, thank you for playing along.
Well, that was fun. That was fun. And I'll add to that too, Sandy, because I think as educators, we all have something different that we offer our students. And I think for my students, when I tell them, you know, I didn't come from this fancy background. My parents didn't have a lot. I mean, my mother didn't even graduate high school. She went back and got her GED and all of this other stuff. And so I always tell them it's about the standard of excellence that they create for themselves. What's your brand going to be? If you know that you're a reflection of your parents or your family, how do you present that to the world, if it even matters to you? So in everything it is that they do, and when we're talking about authenticity, if we use these tools to maybe spark a thought, that's fine. But in the end, I want my students to know for themselves, without a shadow of a doubt, how they feel about certain issues.
Right.
And, you know, so that, and I think that goes beyond the curriculum. And that's just the kind of teacher that I've always been. So my hope is that when they're in college, they will remember the words of their English teacher and just decide whatever that standard is going to be for themselves, what it's going to be. And every last one of them is going to make me proud, and their families as well. I know that for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's the power of learning, right? That's the power of teaching is when it is rooted in a really heart-centered, my wish for you is to create the life that you dream of. And in order to do that, you need to be able to think for yourself. You need to be able to, you know, come from a place of knowing your gut instinct and really developing that self-trust, because that's not something that AI can teach you. You know, you actually get to do the work. And, you know, there's all these tools at our disposal now, which is fantastic. But unless we're using them and leveraging them for our benefit and for our dreams and to connect and collaborate and again, it's a tool. It's not the end all be all.
Right. Just like Google.
Right.
Google is a tool. You can find great information, but you can also find 4 pages of information that doesn't really help.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the world is evolving, and education is evolving. We are definitely on the leading edge of the education revolution, and we're all riding the wave, whether we like it or not. Some days, right? There's some days when we don't like it, but to be in this space together and to be leaning into the innovation and maintaining our humanness, that is our superpower. And the more that we can really see, hear, and value each other as the unique, amazing humans that we all are, then everything else is a tool. Remember to get out in nature and put your feet in the grass and really ground and feel the beauty of this planet, and leverage technology for, sparking ideas or creating some efficiencies in your life, and, use it as a leveraging tool, knowing that, again, we and our humanness and our consciousness and our evolution of consciousness is our superpower. And that's really what sets us apart, no matter what. So Shiva, thank you for another brilliant conversation. I appreciate you so much. And thanks everybody for listening. I would love your thoughts, your comments. And this is just open, safe space to have conversations and share and learn and grow together. So thank you as always for being here. Continue to like and subscribe our podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.